Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the whole school assembly. We initially intended for this to be a PowerPoint presentation, but as I'm sure a lot of you know, that didn't quite go the way we planned, so we're running it as a video instead. On this day, the 27th of September in 1066, William the Conqueror's troops set sail from Normandy for conquest of England. In 1290, earthquake in the Gulf of Chile, Bohai Sea, near China, reportedly kills 100,000 people. In 1821, Mexican revolutionary forces, led by Agustin de Iturbide, occupy Mexico City as Spanish withdraw, bringing an end to the Mexican War of Independence. In 1905, the physics journal Annalen der Physik publishes Albert Einstein's paper, Does the Inertia of a Body Depend Upon Its Energy Content?, introducing the equation E = mc squared. In 1908, Henry Ford's first Ford Model T automobile leaves the picket plant in Detroit, Michigan.
We often get told that science is golden, that the less we speak in some circumstances, the better it is. Sometimes that is true, like when reflecting or in a moment of contemplation, or perhaps in a library where science is an obligation. Science can also send a powerful message. For example, when we hold a 2-minute silence in order to honour the soldiers who sacrificed their lives for us to have a better future. But to what extent is being silent actually golden? In many instances, it's not the ethical thing to do. Being silent in many situations can actually be deceptive, as it allows people to believe things that are not right to be true. And as Clint Smith once said, it can manifest itself in the form of discrimination, violence, genocide, and more. This is why we should use our voices when facing injustice or witnessing wrongdoings. Your voice is the best way to ignite change. A famously known example of this is Martin Luther King. Despite there being many attempts at stopping him, he continued to fight for what he believed in and used the gift of free speech to change the world of oppressed people. Another example is the #MeToo movement, where women stood up against sexual abuse and sexual harassment. For many years, people have been using their voices to oppose societal norms. Without these voices, women may have never have had the right to vote, people of colour would still be sitting in the backs of buses, and I would probably not have had the right to speak up today. I understand that some of us may be afraid to speak up, as some people can have different opinions which invalidate other opinions, but your voice deserves to be heard and your opinion does matter. Even if you do disagree with someone, listen with an open mind and try to understand their perspective. We should not be silent just because it is a means of validation or the easiest thing to do. We should judge the circumstances and think, will my voice have a positive impact and will it make a difference? I also would like to clarify that using your voice does not mean having to speak in front of hundreds of people or in the form of a legislation. You can use your voice and stand up for what's right on social media, blogs, or even in a simple discussion with your friends, which is a simple but effective thing to do in your daily life. So I implore you all to use your voice, to stand up for what you believe in and to inaugurate change. I will leave links, petitions, and information on some global issues that you can stand up for at the end of the slides. Before I leave, I'd like to read this quote. Never be afraid to raise your voice for honesty and truth and compassion against injustice and lying and greed. If people all over the world would do this, it would change the earth. By William Faulkner. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm here to talk to you about the 12 Weeks of Christmas project that the Sixth Form are organising to help the Rainbow Centre. The Rainbow Centre is a local charity based in Scarborough. They offer practical support to vulnerable people in the community, such as the homeless. Alongside this, they recently helped the Afghan refugees that arrived in Scarborough. This included 64 children by collecting warm clothes, food and other items. They solely rely on support from schools like ours and the public to donate. Scarborough Rugby Club recently launched the 12 Weeks of Christmas, where each week they ask the public to donate items such as sweet treats, mince pies and other items towards the Rainbow Centre. We adopted this idea and want to introduce the 12 Weeks of Christmas in school. Each week up until Christmas, we will be asking you all to try and participate in donating the items on the list that will be shared with your tutors. We also welcome any other donations to the centre. Later on in the term, me and Melina will be organising more events to help the Rainbow Centre and other local charities. We will inform you of these events closer to the time. I encourage you all to get involved and try help others in a less fortunate position than ours in such a difficult time in the year. If you have any further questions, please feel free to email me, Dira, or ask one of the senior prefects in your forms. Thank you.
The first girls' season has been off to a great start so far. As a new team, our training match consists of playing Hill House, first and second team, both which resulted in a 4-0 win. Beth highly deserving man of the match. On Saturday the 11th, we travelled to Ampleforth for our first official start, which was expected to be a tough one. Yet after a solid performance in all areas of the pitch, we are delighted to come away with a 3-0 win. Wednesday's fixture proved to be a more competitive away day at Ashville. Despite the loss, however, the girls showed much determination and should be extremely proud of the individual and team play which we displayed. Well done to Kata for man of the match after a great game in the midfield. For the under-16 girls, they faced St Peter's in their first Tier 1 round. Although it was a loss of 1-0, this is a great achievement and will be a great starting point moving forward.
Last week, the under-12s and 13s travelled to Aysgarth for their first rugby fixture of the year. The under-12s made a brilliant start to the season, scoring 13 tries and with a blistering 65-20 win. Well done to man of the match Toby Ward. The under-13s fought a very physical battle in what was a close contest. Unfortunately, in the second half, legs began to tire and Aysgarth ran out 40-21 winners. A great day enjoyed by all.
As I'm sure many of you that attended the event could realise, Scarborough College's first gig on the green was a huge success. All the feedback we've had from the audience has been overwhelmingly positive, and I think we can all thank the Performing Arts Department for that. In particular, I'd like to thank Mr Richardson for organising the event and Mr Hughes, his band, for providing more music later on in the evening. Unfortunately, due to a variety of reasons, not everyone that would have liked to perform at the event got the chance. But of the people that did, I think we can all agree that there was a vast display of talent on show, from acting to speeches to music. I know I speak for the musicians out there when we say it's nice to be back performing. I'm sure you can all agree with me in that we hope to make our next gig on the green just as much of a success as its predecessor, with even more talent on show and maybe even a bit warmer.
And finally, to round off our assembly, a prayer. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Amen.